Sometimes in life, they say there's a moment where you just know, where the skies open up and you just know what you're supposed to be or where you're supposed to go. Maybe it's love, maybe it's inspiration, but it's perfect. Sometimes things don't quite go that way. A few years ago, I had turned 30. And a relationship I had just kind of broken up. And I expected to feel bad as he said the words, "I think we should be friends." Just don't say it, dude. You just don't. What if you just say, "I'm not interested anymore"? It's fine. We're never gonna be friends. I said, "Oh," and I turned and I left his apartment. And all my friends were very concerned, and they asked me how I felt. And I told them the truth. I didn't really feel much of anything. And then a few weeks after that, I was at my job in the glamorous mining industry, sitting at my desk, and I got an email telling me it was my last day via email. And as I was filling my box with all my possessions and my goofy pens that were supposed to get me through this terrible job, that included a boss who regularly came in like Don Draper hungover, but without the charm, just the sweatiness and the "please don't tell my wife." Yeah, real. I'm only 35. This was 5 years ago. As I was putting everything into my box, I texted a bunch of friends, and they were all worried about me. And they said, "How do you feel?" And I said, I don't really feel like anything." I went home and I unpacked that box, and I basically spent 2 weeks eating Cheetos and various like cheese products and wearing sweatpants and reading Oprah magazine and Martha Stewart magazine. And people were concerned about me, but like, I don't know, like, does nobody know how to live? Like, that's amazing. That is all I want, is to sit around in sweatpants and read Martha Stewart magazine. I learned so many things. Oprah magazine taught me to look for those moments I was talking about earlier, that it would just strike like a bolt of lightning. And I believed her, because who is more confident and inspirational than a woman that puts her face on her own magazine every month for years? That is a role model. And I learned other things. I learned if you take fiery Cheetos and you match them with a Rickard's Red, people don't know. You don't know until you spent like 2 weeks, but like Cheetos have like different textures and feelings. You just mix them together. Oh, it's a ride. So yes, after about 2 weeks in my stained sweatpants with my Oprah magazine, I realized it was time to make a change. Like, honestly, I saw another announcement of a friend getting married, and I thought, good for them. And then I saw that a friend was getting a dog, and I was furious because I can't afford a dog. Like, marriage, fine, cool. And I realized I had to make a change. It was time to do something. And if all these decisions that I had made had taken me down this road, the only solution clearly was to take just an abrupt right turn. Do something that I would never do. There had to be a bolt of inspiration. So I put down my Oprah magazine, and I picked up Now magazine, because I was like, Now knows Toronto. And I flipped through. And it happened. I don't know if it was the magic of Oprah magazine or the Martha Stewart or Gail, because she's the power behind Oprah, let's be honest. But I found something, and it was a free class, a free burlesque class. This was like nothing I'd ever done before. To give you a little bit of insight into me, my nickname among certain people is Erin Rodgers. You might notice my 2 cardigans right now. It is August. Like 2 weeks ago was a heat wave. And I'm like, but I might be slightly uncomfortable at some point. My entire style is based around being comfortable at all times. But I looked around at my tiny little apartment, an apartment so hot that both the windows and the walls would sweat. Like a horror movie, but like the horror was like a sweating teenage boy that was just like, I'm nervous. You're pretty. Yes, in my fantasy, my apartment thought I was very pretty. So I signed up for the class, and I abruptly forgot about it for 4 weeks and just went back to my Cheeto experiments. And then one night, I was in a pair of slightly less stained sweatpants, and a notice popped up on my email, and it reminded me of that class. And immediately, like, a voice popped up in the back of my head and went like, you can just not go. Everyone's gonna laugh at you. You wear 2 cardigans all the time. And I said, no, voice. Oprah would tell me not to listen. Gail would definitely tell me not to listen. So I put on my cleanest sweatpants and a t-shirt from like some terrible improv festival or something. I put on my jacket and I headed out the door. And as I opened the door and the cold wind hit me, I had the same thought. You can just turn around. You can just turn around and go home and no one will ever know. And suddenly there was another voice. I'm going to say it's a Gail voice that said, no, not this time. We're going. And all I could think to keep myself going, because my feet wanted to stay put, but my Gail voice was like, we're doing this, was to sing Eye of the Tiger as loud as I possibly could. So I was just like, imagine this, if you will, someone's face, a mask of pure terror, just going, Eye of the Tiger, la 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 la, because I don't know all the lyrics to Eye of the Tiger, la 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 la, something tough. And I got to the subway, and I sat down in the bus, and I went, we have made this decision. This is our right turn. I realized about 30 seconds into this ride that I was still so terrified that I was mouthing the words to Eye of the Tiger, which I'll remind you, I only know a few words to. So it's mostly like, ba, 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 Eye of the Tiger. Luckily, I was on the Ossington bus, so no one noticed. I get to the place that this ad had told me to go to. And I look around because there's no way it's like a creepy alley, like out of a horror movie, and like one small poster in pink with like a lady. And I wait there, and I wait for a count of 10, because I've decided if I wait to a count of 10, then I can tell that voice I tried. I tried, Gail. I tried. And just as I'm about to turn to leave, the most beautiful woman I have ever seen in my life walks towards me. She seems about 8 feet tall. I learned later she's 5'4". Beautiful. She walks. It's like, she's so glamorous. It's like a waft of perfume in the wind. And she comes up to me, and she makes direct eye contact with me, so there's no way I can just run, and says, are you here for the class? And she opens the door, and I follow her downstairs, just quietly like, oh, the tiger, no, 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 no. And in just comes like wave after wave of other glamorous, perfume wavy ladies, all in burlesque outfits. I'll remind you, this was a beginner burlesque class. Apparently no one read the ad but me. Everyone is in beautiful, very not comfortable outfits. Everyone is glamorous. They're in high heels. They have long gloves. They all refer to each other in their burlesque names, like rap names, but sexy. And they're all chattering and friendly. They're basically every nightmare I had as a child of like glamorous, fantastic women who would never talk to me because I'm too weird and I'd say something awkward like, baseball's fun! Like, just blurt out something. And I look down at my, like, good day sweatpants, and I make the decision that I'm going to listen to that Gail voice, and fuck it, I'm going to do it. It's 60 minutes. What's the worst that can happen in 60 minutes? Famous last words. We get into the class, and the music starts, And the teacher is still as glamorous, but she has this like kind, sweet voice. And she tells everyone this is a place to have fun. This is a place to try things out. And she shows us some moves, and she's so glamorous and so sexy and so confident. She's the personification of just the glossy print picture of Oprah. Because I don't even think Oprah is as confident as the photo of Oprah. But this woman is. She's incredible, and she's real, and she's right in front of me. In fact, she's everywhere because there are mirrors around the entire studio. So I can see my terrified face and my like uncomfortable body from every conceivable angle. And I take a deep breath and I look at the clock, and it's 60 minutes, just 60 minutes. And we start to learn a few moves, and I watch my body just like awkwardly, robotically move. Now, I'll say I've never been a great dancer. My dance moves have been described as serpentine and off-putting. Yes, it was actually generous. But I'm so nervous that I look like Frankenstein's monster if he was trying to give you a boner. Like, it's just the worst. Like, terrified eyes. And the time counts down, and the time counts down. But I feel, as scared as I am, I feel like this energy moving up my body and up my body. And I just know I have to make it 60 minutes. That's all I have to do. And at about 45 minutes, she says, there's a treat. There's a treat at the end of this class. We're all going to do our own signature move. You're going to find it. You're going to find your moment. You're going to live your moment. We're all going to cheer for you. Ha ha! Great. Great. Just what I want. More attention on me. And we practice and we learn some other moves. She's like, you can add stuff together however you want. And 48 minutes in, the energy is here. And it's rising. And it's rising, and there's nothing I can do. And I know if I just breathe, I'm sure I can stop it. I'm sure I can go back to just being quiet and just wait it out. And then she puts on Prince. And I just start to bawl, full body, racking sobs. Like Leonardo DiCaprio in every movie you've ever seen him in. Ugly, ugly crying. From every conceivable angle. And this is the worst fear of my life, crying ugly in front of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. And the teacher looks at me, and quietly, she says, this is okay. This happens every class. Why don't you go into the change room, take a breath. When you're ready, you come back. This has never happened to me before. Every time I do something embarrassing, I get made fun of, or people just like shoo me away. This is the most generous thing anyone has done for me when I have humiliated myself that I can ever think of, which of course makes me cry bigger and uglier. And I go into the other room and I realize something. One, I've made a big change. I mean, I didn't want to feel things this way, but I feel again. I feel everything. I feel sad. I feel scared. I don't know what to do, but I know I feel again. I know I want things again, and that is amazing. And I also realize that I don't hang around with burlesque people, so I'll never see any of these people again. I'm fine. And I walk out, and Prince's Get Off is playing. And everyone's doing their move. And I step up and I take my moment. And it is the awkwardest moment you have ever seen, but it is mine. I am there and the space is mine and my feelings are mine. And I'm so proud of myself. And the music goes and we all start to head to the change room. And I know I'm a bigger, better person than I was before. Then something happens. A woman, just like out of my eye line, starts moving towards me like a shark. Just direct eye contact right towards me. And she turns and she looks right in my eyes. And she grips my shoulder in what I'm assuming was supposed to be a very comforting, motion, but was mostly really overwhelming. And she looks at me and she says, I know you. I know who you are and I know what you feel. You hate your body. But you own it now. You're a queen. And I stood there because that's not what this was about. My body does a lot of great stuff for me. I eat a lot of Cheetos. It always makes space. It's great. I'm super cool with my body. And I accept her awkward hug. And I go through the Rolodex of all the times I have certainly done this to other people because I am a white liberal feminist and that's what we do. And I realize something. I've changed, but there's probably somewhere to go. Anyways, thank you so much.